Rolling with the triple C, I'ma make them bend the knee. Rolling with the triple C, don't really count the heat.
So YouTube boxing, I don't know if you guys have seen YouTube boxing, people. We call it YouTube boxing, but it is funny. Entertainment boxing, YouTube boxing is taking over boxing, guys. Why do I say that? I mean, guys, KSI, all these lower amateur fighters are bringing a name to the sport for the simple fact that they're fighting. You know what's wrong? You guys know that boxing is actually, they're digging their own hole, like literally, just based out of ego, money, and all that. I understand the money portion of the stuff, but in boxing, a lot of times is fighters for the ego aspect. They don't want to make fights happen because of the split, and that's how it goes down to it. I think it's weird. I think Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Like, I'm just already sick of it. I don't think these dudes will fight for I think they'll eventually fight, but it's going to be another Manny Pacquiao Mayweather, which is something that necessarily didn't help the sport of boxing. Yeah, I got a bunch of eyeballs in there, but people started to become disgusted by it. So now as we see a fight like Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury, like, who are these guys? Like, yeah, Jake Paul has had the ability to beat some, guys that were out of their prime, but he's been able to beat them. But it's the storylines. It's a simple fact that they are bringing attention. They're creating that storyline, and you need a dance partner to be able to do that. So now his fight with Tommy Fury is involved, and I almost kind of feel even silly talking about these guys because I just love talking about the elite. But just of the simple fact that these guys are fighting and they're creating storylines, like, guys, shame on you, boxing. As great as the sport of boxing is, the best don't fight the best. And all these different promotions, from PBC to ESPN to a lot Showtime to DAZN, these guys will come together because now all these fighters are signed to all these different networks and they're just tying everything up. It's not cool as a boxing fan, as a Mexican American who grew up watching Mexican style boxing when everything was under HBO. The sport will slowly continue to keep getting swallowed by the UFC, by mixed martial arts. You don't see the kids, the 5-year-old kids that are now 10 or 12 talking about boxing. They don't know who these boxers are, but you know what they are talking about? They're talking about the sport of mixed martial arts. They're talking about Conor McGregor, John Jones, the Triple C. Guys, if boxing doesn't get their shit together, literally YouTube boxing with these amateur guys that have horrible defense and offense are going to take over the game.
Yeah, and what do you think about even a step below that, like a KSI and Dylan Dennis? That fight never happened, but KSI ended up fighting, and it seems like there's a lot of fans for that demographic too. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, but that's what I'm telling you. I'm curious to see the pay-per-view numbers on these guys, and it might be something that can continue and gradually continue to keep growing. Because if you're an influencer and you have an influence and you have the desire to box or to fight, like, now you can kind of live out your dream. You can be a Manny Pacquiao to fight in front of 25,000 people with another opponent because you have a name and because you love combat sports. You see, there's different ways of gaining fame. And I guarantee you, all these guys, they all have money. You know what they love more than anything? They love the vibe of feeling, I don't want to say immortal, but having that gladiator feeling of, it's me against this other man and I'm able to do it in front of people. Where it's something that these guys have never experienced. They've experienced a lot of things through social network, but now they're actually they're getting paid to fight in front of 25 screaming thousand people, and I think that's awesome for them.
And obviously, it's not really easy to just break down these fights because they're mostly for entertainment. But when you look at a Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury, where are you leaning in that fight right now?
Yeah, I'm about to go Jake Paul. Decision. But I do think that Tommy Fury has more ability. He's got the length. I guarantee he's got more of the power, but I don't think he has that twitch in there. He's kind of like a sock 'em bop 'em type of guy, where Jake Paul has been able to understand his movement, his twitches, where he's able to land things. So I think it's good. I think it's good for. I look forward to watching that fight next month. That's if Tommy fumbles, doesn't pull out. If the fight happens, it's cool because Jake Paul, his trend continues to keep flowing, and he's trying to get people paid. I think the fight after that with him is going to be against a guy like Nate Diaz, and it's a big payday for Nate. So I do the exact same thing as Nate: sell the fight, take the fight, beat him, and do what he has to do.
So then you want to see Jake Paul's next fight be an MMA after this Tommy Fury fight?
Yeah, I love the fact of what Jake Paul is asking for. I love the fact that he's asking for, hey, okay, Nate, I'll fight you in boxing, and then after this, we'll do the MMA fight. And guys, there isn't like $100,000 involved. Like, there's millions involved in a transaction like this. Like, both these companies want to get these guys paid to elevate and to continue to keep growing their brand. So at the end of the day, Jake Paul called him out. Jake Paul wants it. It's up for Nate Diaz to go out there and and answer the call and sign on that dotted line. And you will have, Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. So thank you guys again for watching. It means a lot to me. So you guys remember, there's more breakdowns, there's more technique, there's more tactics, and there's definitely more cringe. So make sure to subscribe and click on that button. I'm out!